Tony can do any medium whatsoever. He does charcoal, oils, acrylics, watercolours. I don't like watercolours, but when he does watercolours, it gets me all excited. I want to go home and get my watercolours out because it's just so different. He's doing this morning an urban scene, and I think you're going to love it. Absolutely love it. So I'm going to hand you over to the Al Pacino of the art world, Anthony Barrow.
I've got something to live up to now. Using burnt sienna, you should always put your nicest, warmest colours on first, because if you start with the dark ones, you're going to contaminate that. So if I was using yellow, I'd put that on. Try and stay away from yellow a lot, because if you mix yellow, red and blue together, you get mud. So if you stay away from yellows and just keep it nice and warm, using a bit of sienna, a bit of shine on that. And then, so I use a bit of Viridian, like that, Viridian green, which I'll put the side of that because, like I said, when it mixes, it makes a nice greenish tone, which is a more natural colour, like that. But that's the Viridian in it. Well, that's the kind of greeny landscape kind of green, yeah. That mixes quite well. Greens are terrible. I hate greens. I think a lot of people do. They always say you never sell a green pen.
What have you just mixed the green with coming down?
That's burnt sienna and Viridian.
Or what's coming down?
That's the drip.
Just the
That's just the drip. If I carry on with the Viridian now, which is this colour, I've just stuck two pieces of paper together here, and that's Viridian on its own, with nothing with it, yeah. And then I got ultramarine blue, which is again is nice and transparent colour, mixes nice purples. But if you mix it with the Viridian, you get a lovely turquoise colour, you can see, like that, which is good for seas. And so that's the blue on its own, actually, lots of water in, like that. And then if you mix alizarin with ultramarine, which is transparent red, which is a cool red, so it's not got any yellow in it. This cadmium red's got yellow in it, yeah? So if I mix that with my ultramarine, I get nice purple colours, yeah? And the darker you go. So those four colours can make all your darks and your tonal values and your warms and your cools. And to that I add, we do add yellow. I either put it in first or I put it in at the end. You have to be careful not to mix a lot of colours because you just get mucky. So this is my, just a bit of cadmium yellow, yeah? And cobalt, which is a nice blue, yeah, mainly for continental skies, along with cerulean, again, which is a nice sky, continental sky blue. That's a bit too wet. That mixes it well. If you mix the two together, you get a nice colour. It's coming out on there, yeah. And so it's just those four actually, nothing else. And sometimes I use cadmium red if it needs to be. I mean, alright, dripping on the floor. Yeah. And a cloth. The main thing about with watercolours, as we all know, is creating a bead, yeah, and letting the colour do its own thing actually. So if I mix a lot of water like that with pigment, big brush, and I go straight across my bits. So actually pulling the bead down, so it should start to create a bead of water like that. And then use any colour you want really to bring the bead down, you see. So you go back into the bead, let it keep blending. Lots of now. Always be aware that when you put it on dark, it's going to dry a lot later. So don't worry about how dark it is. And I can just drag that bead all the way down, let the colour do its own thing, and blend on its own. You could do this in. I spend nights I used to, just blending colours and runs and seeing what happens and letting it blend on its own to give atmospheric seascapes and stuff like that, yeah. So you can frame that after and not touch it. You know, it's just creating a depth to it, and the water does its own thing, and it looks like a forest in the background in there. You can come and look at it later. You know, and with that now, because the top bit's getting a bit drier, I can start using other colours and work back into it to keep that clean, to try and create some more tonal values. So if I go back into this, it's slightly damp here, but it's not at the top. So it's dry at the top, getting hard edges there, and then as it comes down, it's blending on its own slightly. So you have to go working from lots of water to less water to hardly any water. Yeah? And you can try and do it in three kind of stages. To that now, that wet wash, which we should never forget, we can get this great textures. Clean film as well. I have some, I can't bother getting it out now. So we can throw salt on to that wash, and that will give us nice pebbly-like textures, things like that. And spattering just clean water onto it, like that. I always do it that way. Don't do it that way, because it can splatter in your face. So I put, if you can see it, just little mottles that are actually look like dandelion heads in a field and things like that. So that's all. So that's just what we can do, just using a few colours and carrying on. Bottom of your picture, yeah. And then the very darkest darks. And people ask me, what do I use for my darkest dark? If you mix your Viridian and your alizarin together, and you do your blues as well, we can get really strong dark colours. Hardly any water in that, and it just stays put, yeah? And things like that. And we can scratch out, so I can make grass or whatever. Or use a credit card, John Blockley style stuff and things like that. But it's great experimenting with colour and just seeing what you can do with it. Yeah?
A lot of different effects, isn't it? Yeah.
Sorry?
So many different effects.
Yeah, you can get a lot of effects. You've got that drip now, it's this lady mentioned that, you know, it's actually created something interesting there. And this green is actually running into the burnt sienna there, because it was kind of thicker colour, and that's blending nicely, you know. So if I wanted a light on a tree trunk or something, you can just scratch out the side of it. Little things, you know. But creating textures in the foreground, more about flat washes in the background, and that's going to lead your eye in as well. I mean, it should be warmer though, so you always think about warmer in the foreground, cooler in the background, and things like that. There's no rules as far as I'm concerned. You know, apart from using proper materials and things like that. Alright, any questions? And then we'll start. What time's brew? That past? You said that. Who was the brew lady? We've got half an hour, haven't we? Yeah. So I'll turn that over, we'll have a look at that later. And I haven't decided on an image, although I have now. And I'm going to do a wet street scene, but it doesn't. It's not right for this this camera. So I'll do this. This is Garda. It doesn't matter. If I do it lengthways, you wouldn't get it on. So I don't know if you can get the picture on. Can you? Can you get the picture on? So you can see. Yeah, you can move it further away. So you can see the picture actually as well.
Yeah.
So a bit higher. A bit higher.
Smart.
Left a bit higher. The golden shot. No. You get a feeling for it. It's Lake Garda. It's Garda at Lake Garda. I'll be meaning. So we have to sketch the scene. The thing is with watercolour, yes, is your sketch is really important, because if you get your perspective wrong, you get your drawing wrong, it's not going to look right at the end. Some people like that. You might get a quirky drawing, which is fine. But if you want to get a kind of realism and depth to it, you need a kind of good perspective in your drawing skills. So but I use masking fluid. Can't be bothered with that actually. So I do use wax. If you put some wax on, if you wanted to keep very, very light areas. But just see how it goes. Window, shadow, building, balcony.
Does the wax do the same job as the masking fluid, Tony?
Yeah, but it keeps it white paper and you can't get it off, so you just have to be careful if you use wax.
Right.
But it's quicker, that's the only reason I use it. Because if you're using masking fluid, you have to let it dry. So these are all the people sat having a cup of tea or whatever. And then that links to the shadow on the floor, which goes that way, points that way. That's the sign. Again, you just pick up certain things, and lots of shadows there. These are the curved windows, and there's a window there. Going out the picture. Something like that. That's the tree hanging over. What time is it? Are we doing that? Quarter past. So get the rubber pencil, so you don't see the pencil, but you do see the thin pen line. Be careful when you're rubbing out, you don't take the paper off. Hard rubs is better than putty rubs. And if you press on too hard, you get dents in your paper, so I said don't press on too hard. Okay, can you see that all right? Yeah. Good. So I've just got a thin line now telling me that's a shadow, that's sunlight, that's a shadow, sunlight, people, buildings, tree, all this stuff like that. Simple things, yeah? Windows in, stuff like that, yeah? No detail. I've got the sign there, that's like it says the name of the hotel, but you can put that in later with dirt, because it's dirt. Like I said, if you wanted to use some lights, so I'm always giving my wax away actually, and I think you might know. People ask me for it, and they have none left. So I've got a big tub at least. Oh, there it is. So I just use a little bit, so it's just a candle. You can cut it to make sharp edges. And if you wanted to like, just put the light in on the top of your parasols, and some of these light areas, just catching the light. Don't do all that, you know, scumble it. I can put it across the tops of the chairs, because they're, excuse me, and in some areas of the chairs where they're in shadow, because they're getting some light going through there, and just a bit on the road at the top probably, so I can get the shape of the road. If I put it on the people, she's going to have a white top forever, and so it's just a little bit of white. And then get your colours. So looking at clean water, clean your palette a bit. And think about your first wash. So what we've got a nice blue sky, so, and that's quite light in comparison to the buildings. But the first thing I need to do, I think, is actually put some warm colours on, especially around this area, under the parasol. So I would use burnt sienna for that, actually. Lots of water. And just mix it all ready, and use ultramarine blue. I've got a mix of that. I think I'll use some cobalt and cerulean from the sky. And they kind of nice continental sky colour. I've got yellowy greens, yeah, so I can put that on probably later. That's darker than the sky. And then I've got some alizarin, which is nice and reddish. Big brush, pick up some colour, squint my eyes, and then go in for the kill, something like that. Looking at some of these warmer tones in this area, especially under that brolly, parasol. I've also got, I'm going to just touch some of these under there and this area. So this is my warmer colour, something like this. Let that dry a bit. We put some alizarin in to make that slightly darker, coming down to that. That's a blue shadow, so I can use a bit of ultramarine just to put my parasol and alizarin. Scurvy. This is the scurvy bit, and then all the way down to this building on the left, on the right, sorry. So that's burnt sienna and just a bit of alizarin. And we're getting some shadowy buildings. Some shadowy buildings, so I've got kind of cool tone here, like that. Don't let it run into my parasol. Take the blobs off. So that's in shadow. All that building's in shadow. Different tones though, because you're getting warm tones, roof tone there, and coolish colours on that one. Even some light. Bit of a greeny sienna here looking background. So I've not done my sky because it's all one tone. And in the background there, letting all these run. Bit of blue, use some cobalt. Got some of these blues. Especially down here, he's got a blue top on. And some blue bits there. And there's the person sat on the seat there. That's kind of really warm under here. Keep the white of the parasol. This is greeny colour, so I've got some green, still quite watery, with viridian mixed with it. I've got a kind of warmer green, but it is in shadow, so this is going all across that building. So if I drop that in around there, and then keep it across the around that parasol, got a few rungs and coming down to this other area, it's nice and light, going across there, like that, and got a bit of green in that area as well. I got a nice sunny green there. I'll pick that up with some yellow then, which is in here, where my waiter is. Just take that across. And then the roof, because that's nice and dark, let that blend a bit. It's still wet. Soften the edges of your brush. Let it burn. I'll put my sky in a bit. Use a smaller brush just for the tops of the buildings, where I'm getting some sienna colours and warm, just slightly darker where the buildings are against the sky. Things like that. Just looking at shapes rather than detail. Got some nice blue shutters. Blob, blob, blob. And windows. Blob, blob, blob. There's blobs all over. The foreground, while that's drying a little bit, just watch out for runs, that's the main thing, because you don't want runs still. Not too many of them, I don't mind a few. I'm looking at the foreground, we've got a nice sienna. I mean, the floor is lovely and warm, and then as it gets nearer, it goes slightly, well, it goes in shadow, but it also goes alizarini. So we've got a nice warm colour. So if I look at the back of the foreground over there, and just keep that really light, and then drag it forward, like that. Then as I come forward, I'm having more alizarin. This is where I can use my salt as well, and I've got some alizarin in the chairs as well. You see my wax coming through? So the wax works, you know, just tops of chairs and chair legs and things like that. So I'll just put this in. No, yeah, please, yeah. Yeah. I'll just put this in and then we'll have a cup of tea. So this is like shadowy bit more alizarin in it. Can leave a bit of some sparkles. Yeah. Still wet, it's all running. Yeah. Like that. You throw salt on that. I mean, you don't get sig stumps in garden, but it does look like textures and bricks and stones. Bit of salt. The sky, just drop the sky in and then we'll have the tea, because that's going to be mainly it's really in the cobalt. It should be, and I can paint, go around my building actually. Yeah, we want a nice wash. So I'm going around the, oops, put the wrong colour up. And just drag it down around the tree, because I want some yellowy green as well. Down. Using more water as you get down to the bottom to give you graded sky, so it's slightly darker at the top and slightly lighter at the bottom. So I've not done this tree, I've done around it because I'm going to paint it with yellow and green, and I want it to be bright as well.
Yeah.
And then while it's damp, and I can't do it yet because the sky's damp, so while it's damp, I'll drop some other dark green in, and I'll have a cup of tea on it, so while it blends. Shadow bits.
If you
The shadow's going to go across the road there, so more blue. Blue, the green. Like that. And I'm just squinting my eyes. I'm looking at some of these windows. When you do windows, just try and change them. Don't do every window the same. Yeah? Make some light, make some dark, make some disappear altogether. But, so that's really nice. That's where I've got my wax on the top of that roller parasol. So that's going to give me a nice hard edge to that. And as I come down around this parasol, I get really strong darks where the tables are and chairs and things. So I can drop that in around my people as well, as long as they're dry. So they just appear as if by magic. They just get these shadowy bits. So this is just ultramarine blue and a bit of alizarin to give me some shadows. Keeping it kind of light in the distance because I don't want it to compete too much with the darks in my foreground later. I've got some tables and chairs in tone, in shadow, so they're blue. I'll just drop some blues in there, see? Loads of tables, chairs, little blob here, little blob there. I'll take that across, then underneath this parasol again, lovely and dark there. So I'll use some, when you put washes in, just try and add different colours while it's running. You get a nice, more realistic kind of thing. So all that area is kind of strong darks. So I've got burnt sienna, and I've also got ultramarine. So all this area here on the picture is kind of really dark, coming up to this, and then where it hits the tables and chairs, I get really nice strong shape, and that's going to make the tops of the chairs stand out. Some of the backs of the chairs are in shadow. Scumble that in. Go around some of these. This area. Just around those chairs. Something down the edge, on the floor. So they're all following a kind of a line. As you get nearer, you can do some more legs and whatever. And looking closer at the roof on this one, because this is really dark. So ultramarine blue, quite a bit of water. But I want it dark at the top, and then more of a wash as I come down. So I can do things like that. We're adding the beams. That's going round the corner there, against the side of there. Put that in first and see how it is. Top of that building. And then it's more about, because when you do buildings, it's more like the tops of the buildings are slightly darker. And as you can see, I want to create a slightly darker tone on my buildings because it's in shadow. But also they get reflection from the floor, especially in strong sunlight, so they get more warmth at the bottom. So if I put a wash in like that, and then just use the side of the brush to give me a bit of texture, and keep that more of a warm tone there, you know, so I'm getting darker tone at the top, let that dry, and I can put the windows in a bit. All this building is as well as in shadow, so just go over that. And No, it's like drawing with your brush actually now. That's the way I look at it, because I'm actually drawing shapes and tones and doing something that I would do with my pen. Yeah? Bringing out detail, keep that nice and dark, and that shadow. Because against the sky they're going to be really strong darks, aren't they? You know? So you get that nice. Same thing down there, side of the building. Again, it's dried very light. So I'm just picking out that where the lady is, and the negative shape between two people there, see? So it's not a bit of an interesting shape. Just brings out two people. There's a guy there, somebody sat in the chair there, and you get a leg or two. Use your finger just to blend things. There's a bit of red there as well, so quite interesting because red, or just off red. Makes it slightly closer. Yeah. So we're getting that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be anything in particular, it's just the colour. My green climbing plant on the right hand side is too light now, so I'm just going to glaze over that with a bit more viridian. So have a look at these shapes, because it's in shadow, so I just take it up there, and that's going to bring out the top of that umbrella, parasol, and then just drag that into some other shapes like that. It's all in shadow. Drag that round here, right down to tops of those parasols. So I love the light coming through. That's nice and dark there as well. Keep dabbing your brush. These are in shadow, so windows. Again, that's dried quite light, so I need to bring that out a bit. And then I'm looking at the shapes of some of these windows. I can wash that this one over again as well. Same principle. Try and create texture. So it's slightly darker, and then just let it blend away a bit. The parasol, bit of blue. This is in. Oops, a bit more blue. This is in shadow. I've got a nice blue shadow on that, and then on that one, and the sign. Just the shape. Nice warm colour. I've got my waiter there. He was a bit funny and didn't give him a tip, but just brought back memories then. He was a bit funny and we didn't tip him. Yeah, just look at the shapes. And this area, we've got lots going on in shadowy part, so sometimes you get lost, you know, so just, in fact I'll just obliterate him. Don't want him in my picture. Nice and shadowy there, especially down to the floor. I can glaze the whole of that foreground in a bit. Some warms as well, or cools, sorry, blues, shadows. Let things run. Side of the umbrella, parasol, bit of shadow, windows. Doesn't really matter what colour you're doing. I did do a demo once with bolts on, and somebody came to me in the class and said, "Your bolts are facing the wrong way." I still don't know what he meant. Well, I do know what he meant now. You walked off? I know what he means now. The tiger's out. You're all facing the wrong way. You're all facing up. He didn't mean them all, just one or two were facing the wrong way. So I just dropped a few shapes in for windows. Like that. And it's a bit wet that as well, so it doesn't really matter. You know. And we've got a nice shadowy shape there, which is going to be the veranda, or the balcony, sorry. That's a nice blobby shape. And some more. We're keeping it nice and in the background. I know it's near to us, but it's a shape that's there, and then I will work into that in a bit. Just make it slightly darker. It doesn't matter. I want it to blend on the corner because I don't want much detail actually. So I've used some red and green, seldom seen, except upon a few. We'll use that for really strong darks, yeah? Like the side of that board. See how dark it is? It's not black, it's just viridian and alizarin mixed together. So here I can really bring out shades, especially underneath the parasols and that, nice and dark. A few windows, down there. People, blob here, blob there. Less you do in the distance, better it looks actually. Just little marks, fool the brain into thinking something that actually isn't. It's just a mark. Give a bit of depth to this area. Shapes. Now this is a nice line as well. Underneath. That blend. Like that. That disappear. You're always thinking about where you're putting the marks, that's the main thing. And then do it as quickly as you can. Yeah? Squint your eyes as quickly as you can. And that's it. Shadows underneath windowsills. So don't try and paint the nice shapes underneath the balcony there. And the side of the balcony is slightly darker. And then the top of the windows is slightly darker. And we get these lovely L shapes, yeah? Oops, inverted L's for your windows, works all the time. Top of that, it's slightly really dark. And then the windows here. To bring out your parasol. Scumble. Yours is Bootbit, yeah. Yours is Bootbit uses a Sarmouted brush for doing his trees. You know the one with they got a curl on,
Yeah.
like for doing O's. And he uses that, dips it in paint and shoves it that way and it got a tree. It's amazing. He just pushes it in an opposite direction and he gets these really jagged edges and they just look like branches on trees. Yeah. So you can use anything. So this area, and I want the shadow on the floor onto, that's the main thing. So just clean a bit off actually. So we'll put some blue in there. And a bit of alizarin. Good. Oh. And pick some blue up for standing in it. So here, across the path or the walkway, I've got this lovely shadow coming from the building. Try and link them together. Makes it more interesting. That's giving us some depth. This is just blue on its own. Shadow taking you down the street, and then this foreground shadow is going to be really important, and that's going to link to my table and chairs. So I'll get my big brush like this and just paint the shape because I've got my pencil marker. Paint the shape, it's just coming that way, and nice point on it, and then disappears. Some water on. Nice thing shadow because they lead you into pictures and they're very helpful. That's a little bit darker on the right hand side, more alizarin, third sienna. This is my third wash really, the very dark bits. And that's going to bring it forward I hope, especially when we way towards and that area. Keep that in shadow. We've got a few tables. Let it run. Let it run. Backs of chairs, tables, all sorts going on there. Nobody sat there yet because they're all in bed. It's a rough night. So we put the shadow in and just let it blend into, scratch out as well. Let it blend into that section of shadow on the floor. With shadows you get hard edges where they hit something, and then they get reflected light, so they go lighter in the middle. That's all. So you can just splatter that as well. So it looks like there's some textures in there because that'll make little white marks, yeah. And I can drop, when I'm getting really hard edges, just drop a bit more blue in to bring out that strong shadowy bit. Or I could actually create some texture on the right hand side, left hand side really, because it's slightly darker here, so just something like that. Slightly darker work than nearer. The quicker you do it, the better, and let it run. Yeah. Splatter. Stand back every now and again so you can see what's happening. No, it's the really strong bit. So again, it's mainly red, green, and when it's dry actually. So Alvaro throws his when he's painting out the board, throws his on the floor and lets it dry on its own. But we can't do that here because it's always raining. So we have to wait till it dries. Not always raining. And then he puts the dark bits in. So it's like detail of balcony. Shutters on windows, or windows themselves. It's a really strong dark. This is where the detail comes in. Leave a little thin line in the middle. We want to put wow.
I am sorry,
Sorry, I've been congratulating myself because I've left my phone at home, but I haven't.
I thought it was some bird on the windowsill. Yeah, bit of interest around the windows. Some of them have run, sorry, not run. Some of them have got that blurry effect. Green and red. Less you do, the more, the better it. Absolutely. Make the brain work. Make somebody's brain work. Well, that's that. There's a umbrella there, which is folded up, very dark. Side of it like that. Sunlight. I do mix red and green, sometimes I add blue to it to get nice dark shadowy colours. And it's all about tonal values now. And the more dark, and the thinner marks go in the distance, so I put my finger down, put your finger on and rest it. So you get nice thin lines in the distance. You can blend it with your finger or something like that. Do the shape of things. A bit more interest there, so that's keep it in the distance. Window there, whatever it is. Very strong dark again, because this needs to stand out more. Comes down to the floor. Can't beat those lovely summer days.
Real shadows, you can feel the heat it really puts the sun into.
It makes the heat, doesn't it? Those
Yeah.
shadows.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you can only get things like this when it's in a nice warm place. We get them over here as well. Not as often. So you can put, like shutter shapes in. This is where you can play about, but I don't want to do lots of put things in that are actually there. Make it up. Because nobody's going to see it. There's a bit of a run gone into my parasol now. I mean, people are asking me about taking colour off. I don't actually do it a lot, but you can do with a damp brush. So you just want to lighten an area. There's the magic sponge you can buy, I believe, from Pound Shop.
Yeah.
That cleans anything and it takes colour off, so you go back to the white. You never get back to the white, but take colour. I've got a nice shadow on that building which I put in, but it's not as strong, so I'm just going to wash. So that is a glaze. You see? So I've glazed over what I've already got there. Let's just put a shadow on that building. Looks like a waiter, doesn't it? I'll leave it in. And then stand back. Well, that's it really, because you can just keep fiddling. The clouds come on.
Yeah.
Just want to create a bit more. So that's what I mean about 2 hours being slightly too long, I think. Because, you know, think.
It'll take us 2 weeks, doesn't it?
No, but it starts to be frosty, doesn't it? And
Yeah, it does.
you put marks down and leave them and things like that. So you get a really nice feeling for your marks. It helps you to be selective in what you're doing. Yeah? That's the main thing. Start messing about now. Bit of blue there. Shadows. No, lift some up. What I start doing now is to lifting off. Anyway, I'm going to leave it. Then you take the paper off, bit of tape off. Always pull your tape away from you, as you know, or else you'll take half the paper off with it. Always pull it down. Strong stuff. Yeah. And that just leaves a nice little moat around it, doesn't it? So you can see what it looks like. It's better if you get up to it.